buddy J4Y, bringing you a best of 3 between Party Naked and the Pokemon Masters tonight. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm excited. This is personally my second best of 3 series I get to do. Your first, unfortunately. We tried to do one. It was yesterday morning, and as you recall, of course, there were some no-shows, so we did some kind of fun casting the other time. But this is legit stuff, and we, in fact, have the coordinator of the league, Grim Minus Pants, no pressure to him, but he is actually on one of these teams here, and I just gotta say, he is not fitting in with his team very well right now.
Unfortunately, no, there are not. I mean, there is an A in his name, but it's not capital, and it's not, like, lined up correctly. Unfortunately, hopefully there's better coordination when we actually get into the game.
If he was playing like where's Waldo right now, and he was Waldo, I think he would lose immediately.
It's possible. It's possible.
How does he blend in that well in the first place with like a red and white winter suit on?
It's pretty amazing,
obvious that like he'd stick out, but apparently, even like on the beach scene, he's still like in this winter clothing and still blends into the scenery somehow.
It's crazy. I don't understand it. But yeah, I'm glad. Like you said, this is the first best of 3 that I'm actually going to get to cast. Unfortunately, it's a little late, and the walls are a little thin in my house, so this is about as hot as I can be. So, you get to cast all the amazing action that I'm sure there's going to be this game. But I'm actually going to be casting one tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., apparently. So, hopefully then, yes! And I can actually be as loud as is normal, I guess.
The real BDLM will come out then, but hopefully you'll get a taste of them tonight. You'll get a little face value here.
Yeah,
something like
I'm
that.
actually, you know what? Let's look at this here. I'm looking at the Pokemon.
I'm a little disappointed there's no like Ash Ketchums or anything on their team. I mean, like if you're gonna be the Pokemon Masters, just at least one of you being like a gym leader or something at the very least.
I do like all the Pokemon there so far though. I actually want to know who their 5th is.
True.
We got a Dragonite and Arcanine, a Snorlax and a Gengar. Like all really solid choices.
Wait a second. I don't see any of those.
Really? Well, you suck.
I see one, and I think it's like a... Oh, boy. Is it a... I was going to say Goliath. That's a StarCraft unit. What is the one that breathes fire? And
Arcanine. You're thinking of Growlithe.
Growlithe. That might have been the one I was thinking
close.
of. I see big question marks, so...
That's really sad for you.
Yeah, apparently I lose, so that's okay.
Oh, what can you do?
You're a big question mark too, by the way. You need to get yourself a little picture going. So
I do get a little DoD banner in there.
That's what I'm trying to throw out there. At least I'm a character from the game. That's better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Arguably.
So you excited to see some good, interesting picks. When I was doing the game yesterday, I got to see actually a few really cool picks, including a bounty hunter, a viper. We saw brewmasters in 2 of the 3 games. I mean, I wonder if we're going to see similar kind of things in this game, or do you think it's going to be more just standard, like the try hard to the max, finish the made of the pro scene kind of thing?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I remember I got to see the picks and bans, I think, from the first game that you cast. And I liked a lot of that. I mean, I saw the anti-mage come up really quick, which is a little sad face.
First pick, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always a little sad to see him still. It's like I still haven't gotten away from that. There's so much of him before. But no, I do want to actually go back and watch that. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about this sort of league, because it's not, like, professional, right? So you don't even have to be so overly concerned with going for, the 100% best pick. You can go with a 99% hero, and it's okay. It's not like someone's going to go like, well, maybe if you had done this right at minute 20:36, we would have been okay. That's why you pick anti-mage, So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the first pick anti-mage, when I saw that, I was like, okay, we already know this is going to be a 45-minute farm game, because that's who they first picked. That's obviously what their strategy is going to revolve around. But, I don't know. I made a note of it when I was in the game, and I was like, if BLM here, he would be really sad about this. The fact that Wisp is in Captain's Mode, but was not picked or banned by any team in all 3 games. And now, obviously, he is new to the game, and some of these players didn't play Dota 1. So, they obviously don't have that experience or knowledge of how he really works, and maybe that's why they didn't pick him up. But obviously, I think if someone practiced enough, it could be an amazing pickup in games like this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he's kind of a hard hero. I think they really sort of get the nuance of, and so that's probably why we may not see him. I mean, I would totally do it because, you know, but yeah, he's a great hero, but you got to be able to work with him and really make him work in your lineup. He's a support hero that really starts to become sort of a major part of whatever strategy you're running. So if you're not prepared to really coordinate really well with that hero, you're not going to be able to take full advantage of him. And at that point, it really is just better for you to pick a Crystal Maiden or one of those other support heroes. Are you actually sure the stream is up? Because I'm actually on our thingy and I don't see it running still.
I believe it is.
Oh, okay.
I am 95% sure.
I'm gonna hit the refresh button.
I'm gonna try to
Let me,
get confirmation
oh,
here.
oh, now it's live.
Is
Hold on.
stream
Oh, there
live?
we go. Now I'm talking.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that thing.
Isn't that a nice splash
Oh,
I
man.
just discovered? Yeah, I got
What's
that.
the?
See, okay, shout out by the way to Bigfoot. That's his.
Oh.
That's his like. I don't know, company or whatever he goes by. I threw it in there. He was a great guy. Helped me out. Made this splash screen as well as a little overlay you're going to see when I actually get in the game. All around, just a wonderful, terrific, helpful thing. Enough compliments. Compliment, compliment, compliment.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. It's just wonderful to have somebody being so willing to do that for us for free just because they want to. Like, man, it's just great to have that, and of course makes it easier for us to want to do this when we have people supporting us like that. So thank you guys very much, and thank you very much, Bigfoot. Really
Oh, shoot.
appreciate it, and it is beautiful. What'd you do now?
No, I did. We here. They were asking if we're ready. I was like, oh yeah, we are. We should probably be paying attention to what is actually happening in the game.
Yep, maybe.
Maybe
Perhaps.
well, you
I don't know.
that happens especially around this hour. You know, you got to expect at least a couple of these sessions along the way. Okay, I'm not going to go too much farther than that. That's a little dirty. So, yeah, let's see what they decide to do here. Maybe they're going to decide to start the game. I think it's a good start to any picking banning phase, is starting the game, getting it going, possibly.
It's a good first step, left foot, right foot. It's got to start with the left foot only. So there you go.
Only one of them is tagged up, too, with the Pokemon Masters. So,
Dang, justice.
maybe
That
Grim
guy's
Bias
ready
Cast
to
needs
go.
to just hop over there and just join their reckless team, because I'm not sure what's going on. I definitely would love to see... I don't know, okay, of all the heroes in the game, who is the one you want to see the most?
I would love to see Acropolis. Like, that's one that I just love to death, who sort of just doesn't get picked up. And again, it's like one of those... I think I mentioned this before. It's one that was very successful when it was picked, but then just sort of stopped. Like, everyone was just, meh, okay. So, I think I would love to see something like that. I'm always happy seeing Beastmaster. I was glad to see he got picked up in that one game you cast. So, yeah, what about you?
Alchemist. I want to see
Alchemist.
Alchemist.
You just want to see victories all around.
I just... it's not even all about the victory. There's so many different nuances to it. I just love him. I really do. Actually, you know what? I normally hate him, but I think in a professional game, if we could see him come out and just be played the way he's supposed to, just get crazy farming, get those items and just dominate. Who knows? Maybe we could see a new kind of strategy that will work for his teams. He could even be in like a pushing team with his amazing acid spray.
It's funny because I think I've used this exact same argument with you, and you just straight up ignored it. But you know what? Here we go. We have the first of our bans in this game, Invoker and Nature's Prophet. Invoker being banned out by Party Naked, and as you can see, Grim Minds fans has changed his name. Great success. There you go.
He did. He is finally making it in order there. It is Party Naked, so you can tell right away. And actually, 3 of them, tagged up for Pokemon Masters, so at least 3, it's passing. It's 3/5 of the team is going to be out of clan. And actually, the bans coming out here are pretty typical, I would say, for the most part. Then you said the Invoker, Nature's Prophet. Now we got Anti-Mage, Chaos Knight, as well as Lycanthrope and Brewmaster. So, Anti-Mage, you're not going to see him, dude. No fretting there. You don't have to worry about his face shining in this game. But what about you think of the rest of these bands? The Chaos Knight and Brewmaster are pretty smart, huh?
Chaos Knight's interesting. I definitely understand the Brewmaster. He's a hero that time and time again you can just see mess teams up, just being able to get in there and just create havoc with the ultimate. The Anti-Mage is a little weird. I mean, I understand not wanting to play against him, but that also kind of tells me maybe that Party Naked aren't necessarily interested in pushing super early because they are afraid of a hero that's going to become powerful in the late game. So maybe they're not going to be gearing towards a super early game strategy, but at the same time, they first pick Leshrac, an amazing hero to grab and a hero that does have a lot of that early game pushing potential.
Absolutely. And then Windrunner, of course, now going to be the pick coming out for the Dire here. Another very common as well as good pick, Tidehunter. Oh my gosh, I have truly come to love this hero as both a support and kind of that semi carry if he gets the farm in the lane. Amazing for initiation. And look at these quick picks. I don't even have time to discuss them. You see the Enigma and Broodmother back to back right after. So thoughts on them?
Now I'm even questioning the anti-mage a little bit more because these heroes definitely have push written all over them. Obviously, I think so far we can see that Broodmother is going to be in the side lane solo. We're going to have Enigma in the jungle, and then Leshrac could either be in a dual lane or maybe even middle. Both are options. I mean, crazy enough, we could even see Enigma in the lane, but I would expect to see him in that jungle role. The other side of the board seems to be setting up for a sort of big team fight potential. Windrunner and Tidehunter. I mean, the Tide ulti is actually a really useful tool to help set up shackle shots as well. So definitely things to keep in mind.
I think they also kind of lucked out picking that before the Broodmother because his Anchor Smash makes him really effective. And actually, how did we forget Darkseer? How did he make it through the banning pool? Another amazing hero, also good against Broodmother, by the way. So they have two heroes that are going to stop the spiraling push with relative ease and Power Shot. All three of those heroes have great ways to stop Broodmother, which is normally one of the hardest heroes to prevent from getting a really great team going as soon as she gets that Soul Ring. So amazing picks, I think, right there.
I think it might actually be neat to see Pokemon Masters pick up a Spectre, to be honest, at this point, because they have... No, hear me
I'll
out.
let you
All right?
explain. Go ahead.
They have a ton of turtle potential now that they have Darkseer especially. They're going to be able to hold back the Broodmother so they can let things go into the later part of the game. And if they were to get something like a Radiance up on their team rather quickly, they would completely stop Broodmother from being a threat in the mid and later parts of the game and really allow them to set up a strong late game. And Spectre is a hero that is going to be able to tank up a lot of the burst spell damage that we're going to be getting out, and a lot of the sort of dependable spell damage we're going to be able to get out of Leshrac.
I mean, I like Spectre. I'm not calling out the guy. I'm not saying he's not going to fit in this lineup. I do understand where you're coming from. They do have a really good lineup with the ability to clear waves really quickly. Like you said, Darkseer with his wall, able to kind of deter enemies from coming up that ramp to push it. But I don't think at this point they have really any chance to stop the Tier 1 and Tier 2 pushes unless these next two heroes are like maybe heroes like... By the way, Chen, Enchantress not banned yet, so totally still viable. I mean, they do have probably their jungler on the Radiant, so I would actually expect the Chen maybe to be picked up on the Dire. And if they go Chen and like a nice hard carry, like you said, either Spectre or Faceless or anyone like that, they're going to actually have a pretty tanky, strong lineup. And I think that actually might work out pretty well after that Tier 1, Tier 2 push fiasco is all over with.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is neat just to see how the ban pick has sort of worked out so well in Pokemon Master's favor because of the sort of later Broodmother pick without banning out any of the heroes that are so strong against the Broodmother. I mean, yeah, they've kind of backed themselves into a corner, and we're going to have to see how they look to try and get out of it. We can see that moving on in the bans, Vengeful Spirit banned, smart choice to ban out against the Enigma. They don't want that Vengeful Spirit ultimate stopping the black hole. Morphling is well banned out by Party Naked, not wanting to get that mid to late game hero sort of there to push against their team. And then Venomancer for Pokemon Masters, just an amazing hero that I personally love to death. Big AoE damage, and look, there you go. The Chen banned out. That's kind of interesting by Pokemon Masters.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, the Veno makes perfect sense to me. They still need a support, and he's a beautiful one to help a pushing lineup such as theirs. I think that definitely makes sense. But Chen, I mean, I think they're going to run Enigma in the first place, Jungle, so, and actually this Crystal Maiden pickup, now this is interesting, because this doesn't necessarily synergize with a pushing comp. I mean, she's going to give a really great laning presence to whoever she goes with. which I believe is still going to be their fifth pick because the rest of this lineup, like you said, I think we've already predicted where they're going to go. So it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe if they go like a hard carry as their fifth, I would be completely thrown off. Unless their strategy is like, okay, push tier 1 and tier 2, and then farm, kill Roshan, and then win. Or maybe something along those lines.
Yeah, well, getting some early tower kills actually makes it a lot better for any kind of late game heroes. I mean, you get that early gold, really helps you work towards those big items like Battle Fury that will really help increase your farm rate. But, I actually, I think we still might see, I think you're right in saying that the Crystal Maiden might run with a hero in the safe lane, but I could actually see Crystal Maiden Leshrac being a just silly strong lane with the amount of CC they would have, as well as AoE damage to be able to clear off the creeps quickly so that Diabolic Edict can just rip someone apart. So, yeah, it is a possibility.
I have to say, she synergizes with a lot of heroes in this game. So yes, I
Yeah.
could see her with Broodmother, although that's very unnecessary. But she could do as well as she wants. Queen of Pain now picked up, so obviously that's going to be their mid hero to go up against what I assume to be the Leshrac one-on-one, and I think she should win that more or less. Now, I mean, it's going to be a close battle either way, and obviously she'll get kind of out-pushed. But, she's definitely a strong hero. I've actually seen her, I believe, in at least two-thirds of the games I've casted so far. And I say that I've only casted one best of three, so but it sounds cooler when you say like a statistic or something. But yeah, I mean, she's obviously an amazing hero, does tons of AoE damage in the team fights, blinks away for safety as well as initiation, and has a slow. I mean, all around a very effective hero for that.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think Queen of Pain will have the ability to maintain rune control if she does wind up going against Leshrac, but she's not going to be able to gank as much as she might like to. And actually, we see Faceless Void will finish up Party Naked, like you mentioned, my friend.
I
So
have
he
been
will.
on the dot, man.
There you go. So he'll probably get run with the Crystal Maiden bottom level, solo Broodmother top, Enigma in the jungle, and a solo mid Leshrac going up against the Queen of Pain. Like I was saying, she'll probably be able to maintain the rune control, but she isn't going to be able to leave her lane for a really long time because Diabolic Edict will tear that tower apart. So she has to be really careful and make sure that when she does go for kills in the other lanes, that she gets them and really opens up opportunities for those lanes to get pushed.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to worry about top lane so much because it's going to be that solo Broodmother. And what we generally see is teams kind of just like don't bother. They kind of just let him sit there and do his thing because, I mean, they can buy the dust and the sentries. A sentry is also a pretty good investment if you can afford them. But a lot of times teams just don't feel like that's worth the time and gold they put into it. They'd rather just let him kind of sit there, and at least as long as he doesn't like take out the tower quickly, it's not as big a deal. So she's probably not going to worry about that lane as much. The bottom lane, on the other hand, the Windrunner going to solo. I don't know. She possibly could invade the jungle or do something there, but all in all, I think she's just going to try to hold. Oh my God, who is that creature that just spawned on the Dire?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. We're both a little shocked, shell-shocked here.
I'm trying to soak it in, man. I mean, we typically see Clinks go for an Orchid of Malevolence. It's a beautiful item on him, gives him the mana regeneration as well as some extra damage, and then it lets you really jump out on somebody, silence them, and just burn them down. I mean, there really isn't anybody on Party Naked that has a ton of mobility. I mean, Faceless Void does have the time leap, so you will be able to silence him and stop him from getting away very quickly. But this does give them some push potential that they were really lacking from before. And I mean, their team fight potential is actually really big. I think Clinks, if he can sort of sneak around inside of team fights, is really going to be able to do a ton of damage. I think it's these 5-on-5 team fights that are really going to spell out how this game goes.
Absolutely, which generally is the case a lot of the time, but regardless, it's still a very accurate statement nonetheless. I'm going to run down the Pokemon Master team just really quick here. We're going to have Justice Juice on the Queen of Pain. I'm really interested to see some of these names. Hopefully some are just as interesting as Justice Juice. Vile, okay, not as interesting, on the Windrunner. We got Leah 717 on the Darkseer. We have Isaac. Probably Newton, maybe related, I'm not sure.
Isaac? Why do you pronounce everything
because
funny?
He's got two A's, and I want to
Isaac.
make sure that the A's are well known for the Tidehunter. And then the Cypher X on the Clink, so that is your Pokemon Masters. How about, why don't you give us a rundown for Party Naked? Which letter is which?
So we have N, like Faceless Void. A, we have on the Broodmother, that is actually our Grim Minus Pants, the organizer of the tournament, playing that Broodmother. We have K as Lashrak. We have E, the Crystal Maiden, and D, Enigma, who actually has bought the wards. He has bought the Clarity Potions. He is going to be in the jungle, as I was mentioning earlier. And actually, interesting to note, Crystal Maiden has a ton of health regeneration on her. 2 healing salves and a tango.
Yeah, and another interesting thing to know from this Radiant team, they have 2 sets of wards early. So they're looking to have a lot of map control and vision in the early part of this game. Obviously, one set, I guess, would be to prevent the creep pulling, at least, and that's why Broodmother has it in her inventory, is to use it in that top lane to prevent those creeps from spawning so they can't pull the lane. But then the other set, I mean, it just might be a little unnecessary. I'm not... Why do you think they bought the second set there?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe they're just looking to try and ensure that, they have a safe game. They're not really interested in having anything crazy happen to them. I mean, they are playing up against an Invis hero, so it might be really important for them to try and keep tabs on, like, the Queen of Pain and make sure that there isn't any ganging up,
I
so to speak.
just made a pretty cool discovery.
What did
Darkseer is
you...
jungling.
Yes. Okay, I kind of just assumed that was going to happen, but yeah, now that we see the Smoke of Deceit, that's...
Yeah, I guess after the Windrunner was also there and we saw the Clinks, maybe that became a little more obvious. But a lot of people maybe don't recognize that he is actually a very solid jungler in this game, and you're going to see why. I mean, he's going to run in here, stack up the big creeps here. I'm going to draw it out on the map. BDLM knows exactly what I'm talking about from this drawing, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And he gets to about 3 stacks, and that's when he pops the smoke and hopefully the level 2 Ion Shell by then. And he can just stand next to him all invis-like, doesn't have to attack or do anything, and it's going to eventually kill all of them. He gets a ton of golden experience and pulls ahead, actually, or at least pulls even without taking any real damage from it.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually several heroes in the game that can do that. I mean, Pudge can actually do it with a Rot. So it's definitely an interesting thing that you can do to try and get a big burst of golden experience. And yeah, like you said, just kind of in a bursty manner, get up all your farm there. And you don't have to sort of run back and forth around and sort of get yourself closer to maybe the enemy in that regard.
Here we go with the wards. Interesting placement already. The first one, the top one, would definitely make a lot of sense. I guess they put the second one there just to prevent the gangs completely, but it doesn't show the rune. So I'm not 100% behind that placement of that ward. But either way, they just really want to play safe because they're probably going to be aggressive. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Enigma and Lashrak top, so they're going to go for a complete Tier 1 push pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I mean, we don't typically see Enigmas played in a dual lane, but we do see them sometimes in a solo lane. And what makes them really good at that is the fact that Demonic Conversion can actually deny creeps. Like you're saying, look, we already see that the Eidolons are going in right on the tower, and Diabolic Edict already getting used. Maybe a little bit early to be trying to press that hard, but they do have a lot of clarity potions up on the Enigma, so they are going to be able to just keep that level of harassment up on the tower.
Yeah, and I mean, Clinks and Tide are not going to be able to really slow them down too much. They're really good single target damage dealers, but they're not going to have a lot of clearing wave potential, at least at this point in the game. The Anchor Smash is not there. So definitely they're going to have to try their best to keep them at bay, but only so much they're going to be able to do. And then this Queen of Pain is going to be up against 2 heroes, so she's not going to be able to help them out. She has to stay in this lane and do her best to keep Faceless down as much as possible. I mean, I don't know. Until Darkseer gets that farm we were discussing, he's really not going to be able to help them at all.
No, but he is going to be in the jungle getting additional gold. I mean, as long as his team doesn't lose too terribly in the earlier parts of this game, his team should be at an advantage just from picking up this extra gold. We can actually see that Crystal Maiden is going to try to come here into the middle lane with a haste rune.
Yeah, doing a whole ton of damage. Here actually comes the time leap. Now going to be keeping the initiation on. Queen of Pain is going to fall for the first blood. Really great job by the Crystal Maiden haste in there, getting that combination off. And I didn't expect it actually to do that much damage, but sure enough, able to finish her off.
I think what you really didn't expect is for Queen of Pain to not have any points in Blink at level 3.
Actually, what I'm also not expecting is Broodmother almost finishing off a Windrunner only at level 3, and only 1 point that spawns Broodlings. I thought Windrunner was taking the advantage there, but it looks like he was turning it around pretty well. And look at that health regen. It's already at 5 health regen just sitting in his web alone, proving why he's so effective at soloing lanes.
Yeah, sitting at the 600 gold almost now. Could look to go for a soul ring to try and be able to keep some health regeneration, some mana regeneration, and be able to just throw spiderlings into the windrunner at will. Or could just look to sit here and try and go for a ring of health quickly just to maintain the ability to stay in the lane.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the random power shot that somehow kills him. I really am. Look at him being super aggressive here. He is really risking it. If she can get a couple more attacks and the power shot quickly off, that's definitely going to kill. The shackle shot's going to go down, going to land, but there's no follow-up, and she's just not able to do enough damage to really keep him down the lane.
Yeah,
Unfortunate.
unfortunately, didn't have enough mana to be able to follow up with that power shot, did not do the quick math ahead of time to know that that would not be an option. But I'm okay. Queen of Pain, level 4, now just gets the blink.
I was
So
going to
now
say.
has that mobility. Good to see. We'll actually grab this regeneration rune. No bottle though, so won't have it for later.
I was waiting for that blink as well. You'd think, especially 2 versus 1, that would be a pretty high priority for a Queen of Pain to at least get a point in to escape, and that would actually explain why she didn't end up escaping that first blood kill, because she didn't have the blink available at the time. So definitely pretty big. Actually, top now. Klink's going in with the Ion Shell, going to finish off the Enigma by himself. Now going to look maybe to chase down Leshrac, but no, he doesn't have boots yet, and just able to get 1 kill. The Ion Shell on a raged hero you don't see very often, but maybe it's because he was walking up invisible next to him, still doing the damage while invisible. A pretty effective combination. He gets the increased move speed from being invisible. And he's actually putting 2 points in that and 2 points in steering arrows, so ensuring the movement speed here. Actually now looking to maybe finish off the Leshrac. He's going to be invisible. Here we go, 1 steering arrow, 2 steering arrows, and that's enough. Here comes the Malphite to get some stuns up, but it's only got 1 proc because he's only got 1 point in it, and so he's going to get a free kill more or less on the Leshrac.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I'm actually, while you were looking at that, I was looking around the map. Notice that Faceless Void is now sitting on 1,700 gold. So he is actually, I imagine, going to start building his Battle Fury with that amount of money. A really nice pickup for him. And now that he's getting off to this really early, great start, he should be able to get that completed very quickly and be able to put himself further ahead for the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Broodmother's just doing what she does best, keeping the pressure up in this bottom lane. Already hit level 6, so has the ulti available if he needs to survive, but he's doing just fine. 7 health regen, has the soul ring in the stash, so ready to get it, but obviously the courier has other plans, making some deliveries along the way for just a simple headdress recipe. Ooh, a headdress now coming out, actually on the Enigma, so I'm surprised they haven't been able to finish off this top tower yet. Oh, and as I say that, here comes the push.
They really look to.
And I think they're going to get it here. You can see Diabolic doing tons of damage. Yes, there goes the tower. 5.5 minutes, actually almost 6. First tier 1 tower falls. The Enigma and Leshrac proving effective. Now here's the important question. Do they switch over to middle or bottom and keep the push going? Or do they kind of now let the Enigma maybe go in the jungle and get some gold while Leshrac just keeps the top?
It looks like they want to try and rotate and see what they can find. They are looking for this rune, and they will. They'll find the invisibility rune here at the top, actually. Leshrac runs past it. It looks like he wants Enigma to grab it, but neither of them do, actually. Not interested in taking it, maybe leaving it for the Crystal Maiden, who made such effective use of the rune earlier, but no. It looks like the Enigma will grab it. Doesn't have enough mana, though, for much of anything yet, so they aren't really going to be able to take advantage of it.
Perhaps not. Queen of Pain was looking bottom, didn't see the rune, and once again, no wards up at all right now. So kind of blind on both teams. Not sure what's going to happen. Queen of Pain dancing around here though, trying to get some more last hits. Doesn't have a bottle quite yet. Wonder if she's even going to go at this point. She still could, and definitely could make use of it, but now she's going to realize there's a whole lot of people coming up mid. The Crystal Maiden going to make that 4 heroes. And here come the Eidolons out. She's going to need backup immediately if there's going to have any chance of stopping this. And it looks like the rest of her team is just not interested. So, looks like, yeah, they're going to get this push going. Here we go with the Diabolic Edict. 1 TP now coming in. Who is that going to be? Tidehunter, level 5, but Chronosphere is actually going to come out on the tower. Instantly going to drop Tidehunter before he even gets a single spell off. Now Klink's going to open up on the Crystal Maiden. But in the meantime, Queen of Pain trying to juke, actually does juke successfully. Now Klink's wasn't able to follow that up, and they're going to keep the push going for now. The Diabolic Egg still doing some damage. Clinks is just sitting around here. Queen of Pain dropping a huge ult, hitting 2 heroes, and now blinking out, but it's still not enough damage for anyone to open up on them. Here comes a third TP. Darkseer's now here, but he is a little late to the party. They're all going to pretty much fall back. Actually, Clink's looking to try kill a Shrag. One more Seeing Arrow is not going to do the case, and now he's going to pay for it with his life. Crystal Main getting a nice kill, and that is going to be 2 kills for none trade-off there.
Yeah, and no strafe on the Clink. It's really unfortunate. I mean, he doesn't have that burst of attack speed to really be able to try and take somebody down there. May have been worth, maybe saving a point in the Searing Arrows for 1 point at least in the strafe.
Yeah, but it's just unfortunate that they weren't able to capitalize on that. I mean, they at least held their own. The tower still stands with just barely with 193 health. The Chronosphere was used to kill Ty, and he didn't even have his ult up, so just felt helpless in that fight overall, and this is still without Enigma ult. Once he grabs that, they're going to have a whole ton of AoE CC and damage to deal with, and I don't know if the Dire is going to have an answer, at least this early in the game.
Yeah, it looks like the Radiant push rotates down the bottom. Leshrac, Enigma, and the Broodmother here looking to push this lane. They don't have enough mana for another set of Eidolons quite yet. Unfortunately, Enigma very raw looking to try and build that mech. It looks like we might have some engagement down here. Nope, not quite yet.
They're buying their time, and they're not in a rush, honestly. Actually, they might try to bait this out just a little bit. I mean, it will be a 3-on-3, perhaps, depending on who gets to stay where. Meanwhile, Clinks is just chilling around. Oh boy. Oh, Bob.